Well, hey kids! So I'm gonna have a cat in my lap for this video. All of a sudden jumped up here. I think he knows when I'm about to make videos and he gets jealous. Here's Figaro. So today we're gonna read Stanley the Farmer. And all week we're gonna be hanging out with Stanley because he has a bunch of different jobs. Today his job is to be a farmer. But tomorrow he's gonna have a different job. And the next day he'll have a different job. I'm going to read you the one about Stanley being a farmer because for science today, we're going to be looking at plants and the life of a plant. So I figured a farmer book would be appropriate. So Stanley, isn't he cute? What is Stanley? Doesn't look like a horse. He's not a bunny. His ears aren't big enough to be a bunny. He's not a cat because his ears aren't shaped like triangles. He could be a mouse. Mice are like gray or black. He's a gerbil or a hamster. Gerbils and hamsters have like a brown and white color to them. Stanley the Farmer. The author is William B. B like bumblebee. Okay, Figure, you're going to have to lay down because your claws hurt. And I can't read the book while you're rubbing your lips all over it. Stanley the Farmer, look at all these tools in here. I wonder what he uses all those different tools for. Where is Stanley? He's going to be very busy today on his farm. The first thing to do is plow the field so Stanley can plant some wheat. He pulls the green plow with his red tractor. It looks like plowing has something to do with the ground. Remember, it said the green plow. Seamus helps Stanley spread manure. You know what manure is? It's brown, it comes from living things, and it's very, very stinky. Manure is poo-poo. But believe it or not, manure is a very good fertilizer. So if you spread manure down on the ground, of course you're wanting to use like a shovel, and you're probably going to be making the same face as Seamus here. Bless his heart. But it actually helps the ground grow really good plants. It's like food for the plants. So just a little fact there. Seamus helps Stanley spread manure. It's smelly work. Stanley drives the tractor up and down the field while Seamus pours seeds into the hopper. So here's the tractor, the red tractor. So what do you think the hopper is? What color is the hopper? Yeah, it must be the other little object in here, the orange thing. So Stanley doesn't have to spread manure anymore. He's smiling and happy. He's putting seeds in the hopper. And if you look down here, it looks like they're coming out of the bottom. So I guess the hopper spreads the seeds. Yeah, cool. So you plow the field, put out the manure, spread the seeds. Now Little Woo is helping too. They water the seeds twice per day. So now those seeds need some water. The wheat is growing quickly, but Stanley is worried that the birds will eat it. So he puts up a scarecrow. Hope it works, Stanley. So a scarecrow kind of looks like a person. And I guess birds probably are afraid of it because they think it's a person. Now Stanley's wheat field looks beautiful. Stanley is very pleased. So plow the field, loosen up the dirt, spread out the manure on the dirt, plant the seeds in the dirt, water the seeds twice a day, and put up a scarecrow so that the birds don't get those tiny little growing seeds. Next, Stanley needs to cut it all down. He uses his big green combine. The grain goes into the sacks, and the straw comes out of the back. So the wheat grows really tall. and he cuts it down with a combine. And the grain, which is what they use to make bread, the grain comes out of the top. So this combine separates the stalky part that looks like straw from the grain part where you can make the bread. So the grain goes in the sack and the straw goes back down on the ground. Then the blue baler makes the straw into nice, neat bales. All finished. You ever gone by a farm and seen these huge stacks of hay sitting out in the field? It's not like someone sat there and put all that hay into a pile and somehow tied it together. A baler is a piece of equipment that does that. Stanley gives Seamus and Little Woo a lift back on his trailer. Thank you, Seamus. Thank you, Little Woo. Well, what a busy day. Looks like he's headed home. There's his house, his little farmhouse. It says Stanley's house. Time for supper. Time for a bath. I bet he does need a bath. Hanging out in the manure all day, getting hot and sweaty in the sun, bugs all over him. And I bet he is hungry. He's probably ready for supper. And time for bed. Good night, Stanley. I bet that feels good to get in that bed. Nice and soft. And that's his little thermos sitting on the bale of hay. You gotta have some water. Today I want you to try and predict what you think happens after the ending of the book. So Stanley gets his tummy full, he takes a bath, and he goes to bed. I want you to predict what happens after that. What would you put if I said add more pages to the book, make the book longer? Predict what Stanley does next. It could be anything. It could be he woke up in the middle of the night because he needed to use the bathroom. And so he went to the bathroom and went to the refrigerator and got a midnight snack with birthday cake Oreos and milk. It could be he woke up the next day and felt really sick, so he couldn't work on his farm, but he asked Seamus and Little Woo to do as much as they could. You could say anything. Anything could happen. You can make it funny. You can make it serious. You can make it ridiculous, however you want. But I want to know what happens after Stanley falls asleep in this book. You make up the rest. You can just draw a picture of the next page. So you could just draw a little picture of what he's doing as if it were in the book, and maybe have your mom or an older sibling, write down a couple of words or help you write down a few words explaining what he's doing. You can take a picture of that and put it in our Google Classroom. It'll be fun to sit around and read some of those things. I will see you back here very, very soon.